Pieter, Tubergen, and Kristopher Connett are 7-0s. We said it was our backup feature, and that was true, except for the fact they had a deck check. So we're going to get another full match of Magic this round. You see the clock reset to 50. They actually just finished the deck check. So get ready for some bonus Magic here. We have Jund versus Affinity. I'm pretty interested here because typically I like Jund's side of this. If Affinity's been a bit on the downturn, and this might be why, and I want to take a look at it.
Yes, and this is a matchup that, as the metagame is shifted towards Jund, the Affinity players, they have to make significant concessions to this, and you do see Tubergen playing 4 main deck Etched Champion for this reason. Just trying to cheese with that protection from all colors.
Looks like a 1-lander from Pieter's side, so he has the Darksteel Citadel, but it looks like we have we have Steel Overseer, Mox Opal, those are your 2, I believe, inventions. Vault Scourge, Arcbound Ravager, second Vault Scourge, and Galvanic Blast.
It's a fine hand.
You could, now against Jund, normally you do the kill everything game plan. But I do want to be fair for a second here. Taking Mox Opal's nice.
It's the only second mana source.
Yeah.
It's live on turn 2. The question is how many kill spells are in hand. Arcbound Ravager is the hardest card next to Etched Champion, of course, which you generally won't be able to kill to actually deal with removal spells.
Yeah, it looks like he did take the Opal. Pieter draws Etched Champion for the turn.
It's a fine draw if he can hit mana sources.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that Citadel. If you left the Opal, it would have been Citadel, Opal, Scourge, Scourge, go. I mean, that's already a much scarier start. Pieter now just starts on 1 Vault Scourge, passes.
Usually only see 1 basic land in an Affinity deck. Pieter has actually brought a swamp and a mountain to the table.
Tarmogoyf turn 2 by Kristopher Connett. 3-4 already.
Yeah, that one grows pretty quickly in this matchup. Won't be long before you have a creature and instant in the graveyards.
See whether or not Pieter recovered on that mana. That was the big question we had after the Thoughtseize.
Yeah, just casting a Vault Scourge every turn will not do it in this matchup.
I think the scary thing for me on Affinity is that now that Jund plays 4 Bloodbraid Elf, and they all do, it really incentivizes them to play more Kolaghan's commands.
Yes.
And that's a card that Affinity really struggles against.
You're leaning pretty hard on Etched Champion.
Yeah. Here's Pieter. Draws Springleaf Drum, so makes Drum, taps Vault Scourge to make a Vault Scourge. That will be a mana source. So not too bad there.
Starts to unlock the hand a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to get Maelstrom Pulsed here, though.
No, both Pulse and Kolaghan's command would be a pretty big beating. And it looks like it's just Fatal Push, so that's easier. So now Artifact, Creature, Instant, Sorcery, Land. It's a 5/6 Tarmogoyf already.
And I like the patience for Connett. He does have Kolaghan's command in hand.
Oh, okay.
He's waiting to tag something actually valuable.
I mean, and now he has Dark Confidant too, so yeah, this is just a better turn all around. Pieter's down to 11. I'm gonna check off a bingo square for that 5/6 Tarmogoyf.
Ooh.
All right, Ryan, I got a 4 in a row. Here's what'll win it. Turn 3 Tron.
Well, if we get Tron on camera, that's guaranteed to happen because it literally always happens in every game they ever play.
They always have it.
Guess I'm grateful that Joe was playing Colorless Eldrazi and not Eldrazi Tron.
They always have turn 3 Tron.
There's just no 2 ways about it.
Another Springleaf Drum. Taps Vault Scourge and Galvanic Blasts the Dark Confidant. It's fine.
Yeah, with Connett at 17, I do like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's starting to take, Pieter's got to be concerned about his own life total. That Goyf's swinging in for 5. You know, 2 Lightning Bolts kills him. Goes down to 6. Treetop Village for Connett and a pass. He has, looks like that command, Kolaghan's command, Lightning Bolt is the last 2 cards. That is concerning. Here's Memnite.
Yeah, those are really tough ones to beat.
Yeah. And Etched Champion.
That covers Tarmogoyf, but that Treetop Village that Connett just added,
well, that actually,
that's going to be lethal if he goes for the bolt here.
What do you mean if he goes for the... Colgan's command.
You can do that too. Yeah, you can even
Command's,
bolt next turn.
Command upstairs.
Yeah, command whatever. Because you have bolt village next turn.
Yep.
Just bolt plus attacking with treetop village Tarmogoyf is already lethal. You don't even have to Colgan's command.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. You don't have to do any of that.
Yeah, he can do it all though, because he has enough mana to do it all. So whatever.
Yeah. Colgan's command looks like it's going to be the play. Definitely shoot upstairs. Actually, you mentioned it doesn't matter. You don't have to play this, but you can't. You get to
pick any 2 modes. They're all fine. Just don't make yourself discard the lightning bolt, I suppose.
Don't pick yourself to discard.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. We'll see what he picks. Gets back Dark Confidant, destroys Volskar. Sure. You have him dead. He's dead on board, man.
No spoilers.
He's dead. Made him discard that Steel Overseer. Nice call. Shoots him down to 4. He's still dead to your lightning bolt.
Yeah, I mean, it's being thorough. I get it.
Activates Treetop. He's doing the right play. Activate Treetop, swing. Blocks Goyf, takes 3, goes to 1 lightning bolt. Kristopher Connett takes game 1.
Some mana woes for the deck full of 0s and 1s.
So when you're in that situation, do you play the Colgan's command or do you not?
I don't.
I want to dishearten them. I'm going to be like, dude, I had you. I really had you.
Yeah, for Affinity, it's more disheartening when you beat them without your hateful cards. I'm kind of into that.
All right, quick break here from Pieter. He'll be back in a second. So we are going to take a short break, look at some of the sideboarding available for Tubergen, and we'll be back with game number 2 in just a couple minutes. So back here, Kristopher Connett and Pieter Tubergen, Jund and Affinity. Pieter, a slow start, kind of got taken apart with a Thoughtseize on a Mox Opal and then cleaned up with a lot of removal, but that's how Jund works. Looking at sideboard, what does he have to fight back?
Yeah, so the list we have 2 Dispatch, 2 Stubborn Denial, 2 Thoughtseize, 2 Girapur Ether Grid, a Grafdigger's Cage and a Steering Bridge, a Master of Ethereum, a Ceremonious Rejection, a Rest in Peace, a Vandal Blast, and a Shaper's Sanctuary.
There's like one card I like here a lot. It's Shaper's Sanctuary. Your opponent's going to kill spell you out. Might as well play that.
Yes.
But other than that, Pieter feels like he's light for the matchup.
I am interested in the Sanctuary and 2 Stubborn Denial, and honestly, that's the sweet spot of things you want to board in Affinity. I like having exactly 3 cards, do some very light sideboarding, and you're ready to go.
Yeah, now unfortunately for him, Kristopher gets to do sideboarding of his own. He's got We see these cards here. He has a lot of different ways to cast removal spells, and actually a lot of these are very good against Affinity.
So we have 3 Fulminator Mage, 2 Collective Brutality, 2 Kitchen Finks, 2 Nihil Spellbomb, an Ancient Grudge, a Damnation, a Hunt Master of the Fells, a Kolaghan's Command, a Fatal Push, and a Thoughtseize. So some of these are just more copies of main deck cards. Kolaghan's Command, Fatal Push.
Great. Ancient Grudge, of course.
Yep, these cards are all excellent. Damnation's also good. It covers Etched Champion. That's going to matter.
Yeah, so what you do, and this is what Jund gets to do once they have Bloodbraid Elf. You start getting to control your Cascades by changing your deck composition. Chris has 5 discard spells in the main deck. How real is it, do you think, for him to board out all 5?
So 1, 2, 3. You have 4 cards that are just clearly excellent.
Grudge, Command, Push. What's the 4th?
Damnation.
Okay.
And then you have cards that are reasonable beyond that, but they're all just kind of medium.
It's like Brutality.
You might find him stranded with
Huntmaster.
like 1 Inquisition left. You can bring in Kitchen Finks. It's whatever. You can bring in Brutality. Both of those cards are pretty dubious in quality. Fulminator Mage is more of the same, where sure, hitting a creature land is a thing, I guess. He's likely, it's probably between Huntmaster and being stranded with 1 discard spell. And 1 discard spell, honestly, is entirely fine. Because discard gets in front of Etched Champion. And that's just Pieter's most important card by a very wide margin.
Yeah. I do like, I mean, the fact Kristopher got game 1 is pretty big for him. It feels like post-board, it gets better for Kristopher, not worse. I mean, that's just true of Jund.
Peter's best cards are in his main deck. You know, he's hedging for this matchup. He has all these Etched Champions, and he just couldn't deploy any. He played 1 and he died on the following turn, I suppose.
Sure. Jund, one of our undefeated decks. That's not surprising here. The strength of Jund, now that has Blood Breath especially, is that it might be the best sideboarding deck in Modern at this point. I bet it is likely, I don't think it's unfair to say that it gets better in every matchup after sideboarding. If it's not every matchup, it's close.
Well, you're also just playing this deck where there's not sideboard cards that are like, oh, this is my Jund card.
Like Blood Moon, that's not even that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, historically people attack Bloodbraid Elf because you can't attack their cards. You try to get their mana, but even that's not great.
And it's just generally decks that do that. It's all in the main deck.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're main decking Spring Seas. They're main decking Blood Moon.
Yeah, you can't beat them on value. I guess you can go more value. You know, maybe Brennan DeCandio's deck has a good Jund matchup. I could see that.
Yeah. That deck is very good at just trading back and forth.
Yeah.
Accumulating more and more resources.
And Pieter on a mulligan. You hate mulliganing against Jund just because of how their strategy works.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially post-sideboard when they have more commands. You got that Ancient Grudge.
Like, yeah, maybe you'll land your Etched Champion, but you're sure not going to have anything else by the time that happens.
Yeah, 2 Darksteel Citadels and an Etched Champion. That can still do it. But Connett has a reasonable number of answers to that. And Affinity is a deck that has to mulligan. It doesn't mulligan especially well. It's another critical mass deck, but it just really makes sense. You got to make sure that you have the mana to cast your spells and some number of your Haymakers. You want these great 2-mana spells, your Arcbound Ravage or your Cranial Plating. In this matchup, you want to have your Etched Champions.
Pieter not thrilled with the 6, but he's keeping. Could see it on his face. Bit of an eyebrow raise there. He'll scry to the bottom. See if he can put up a fight here in the second game. Mountain, Springleaf Drum, Ornithopter, Memnite, Drum, Welding Jar. That's okay. That's what he kept.
Those
are things.
That is 6 permanents. that is the least impressive pile of 6 permanents I've ever seen in my life, but it is 6 permanents.
Come on, Cranial Plating. Let's do it. Put all this together. Something we can cast. Someone help us.
Take 1.
Ooh. Is it something he can cast? It looks like he's going to cast it. Cranial Plating would be really nice, though. Probably wasn't plating. He didn't play it pre-combat.
He wouldn't have the mana to equip an attack.
That was right what we needed.
Yuck.
Bloodbraid Elf, Ancient Grudge. Scavenging Ooze, Goblin Rabblemaster, 3 lands.
Well, it looks like we had 2 quick feature matches this round. As
Gosh.
Affinity is absolutely murdered by Jund.
What do you even take? Just like
Whatever. Just roll a die. Pick at random. Who cares?
If you take, there's nothing good.
Nope.
He's got turn 2, 3, 4 lined up, and I think even if you.
So, in some circumstances, if he had a good permanent to go with the jar, then dealing with half of the grudge makes sense.
Yep, and that's what he's doing. He's doing that in hope in case he draws a good permanent.
Yeah. There might be something nice on the top of the deck. Who knows?
If I top deck plating, let's make it live. Oh, Dark Confidant drawn by Connett. That's a nice card.
That's one that actually would have been the best one for Pieter to Thoughtseize. So just the top of the deck is the best card, obviously. That's what happens when you Thoughtseize people.
Especially when you Thoughtseize Jund. They just always have it on top.
Yeah.
And there we go, Dark Confidant. Yeah, here's what I drew from friend. All right, Pieter, did you get something this time?
Can we add a 7th permanent? Perhaps another Ornithopter?
Then we can.
Basic Swamp.
Swings for 1.
Ooh.
Offers the trade. Chris declines.
Wisely declines the trade.
2 mana Arcbound Ravager.
That's a good card.
Now we can sack our board.
Okay, that's actually a well above average draw.
Dark Confidant gets a land. Draws another land. Okay, that's just fine.
And Connett, he has the Grudge in the graveyard, and beyond that, he just has a lot of creatures. Theoretically, the Bloodbraid Elf converts it into a removal spell on top of that. But he does not have that much in the way of interaction, and his closing speed is a little bit slow. If you see Connett go for a Dark Confidant attack, there's a reasonable chance that Tubergen goes to eat it with the Arcbound Ravager, gobble up that drum and, I don't know, the Memnite.
So he grudges. Right now, that probably just gets the jar.
Yep.
But it'll tap it. Nice.
It's between the jar and just making one of these creatures reasonably sized. Because Connett's still at 18, it's tough to just shove with the Ravager right now. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah. It's a lot of damage. Connett has a lot of blockers. I don't like it. And then you're hoping that the Jund player with this Dark Confidant and Bloodbraid Elf never hits another removal spell?
Yeah.
That's your line?
Right.
Like, okay.
And
neat line.
I like that he jarred here. Now if he draws Etched Champion, he still could be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess he would start to be in pretty good shape. He
might still lose the race.
He is not in good shape right now.
So here's Dark Confidant. Can attack back. Looks like our play is Scavenging Ooze and attack. Fetch Shocks get Stomping Ground. Kristopher down to 15. And here's Scavenging Ooze from Kristopher Connett.
Another 2-power creature. Well outsizing the 1/1s of Pieter Tubergen.
Thought Cast from Pieter. Great draw.
Yes, that's one of the fine ones.
Gets 2 cards. Maybe one of them is. He needs like another payoff at the very least here. Well, okay, Signal Pest. That's not really a payoff.
It borders on being a payoff.
Says go. Back to Chris. Top card. Bloodbraid Elf. He'll go to 11.
It's a lot of damage. That's good for Pieter.
It's a lot of damage the other way too.
So, well, Connett already has a Bloodbraid Elf.
I like 2 of those cards.
Well,
draws Kolaghan's Command.
Pieter likes that Connett took 4 damage.
Yeah, you're right. Do you play an elf or just play Kolaghan's Command here?
You have one thing you want. It's really tough. You can't really answer the Arcbound Ravager with Kolaghan's Command without also having another 1-mana spell.
Well, you could like shatter the Arcbound Ravager and then like deal 2 to Memnite. Because you'll get both cards, I guess. Not really.
Right, and then Pieter just suits up the Ornithopter.
Yeah.
Jams with that and the Signal Pest.
A swing with both. A block with Memnite.
Looks like Ravager food to me.
Yeah.
Connett's hand is so full. I'd be surprised if a trade happened.
Trade happens, that's fine. 2 damage, Pieter to 14. Food for Scavenging Ooze. Wonder if Connett plays anything. He could, what if he just plays, what if he just does nothing?
Leaving up command is a lot better than casting at main phase.
And he just like leaves up command and then end step eats 2 creatures and grows ooze?
Yes.
That seems great. It's weird because you have 2 Bloodbraid Elves and you know, you're like, hey, this card's really good.
Your opponent knows about both of them as well.
Yeah.
So you're just not casting your Bloodbraid Elves. It's going to raise some red flags.
Yeah, it's that kind of reflect like, oh, you jerk, you have a bunch of removal.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do about it?
Right. Your 0-2s and your 0-1s are not really scaring me right now.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought too. 3 mana, Etched Champion.
Okay, now we actually have a game.
In response, you got a Kolaghan's Command in response, right?
You cannot let him suit that one up.
No, with Drum.
Oh no.
Oh no, he let it resolve. Ooh, this is a mistake.
Yes.
He needed to. So the idea was he wanted a Kolaghan's Command before that resolved so that he couldn't suit up the Etched Champion. Now he's going to destroy the artifact that is Arcbound Ravager and deal 2 to something else. Pieter's going to throw these counters onto Etched Champion. That's how this is going to play out.
Couple extras as well.
Yeah. This was a misstep, and we have a game again.
So for free things to sacrifice to the Ravager, the Signal Pest, obviously. The second Drum is extra.
Yeah.
You kind of want to hang on to the Ornithopter to insulate against specifically Liliana of the Veil, or Bloodbraid into Liliana of the Veil.
Yeah.
It's a little fragile, but it's kind of worth sticking around. And then you kind of ask yourself, do I want to get rid of the second Drum or the Darksteel Citadel? Because getting off of 3 mana makes it so you can't draw more Etched Champions.
But then your guy loses Metalcraft.
Yeah,
you probably need to keep a Drum and a Citadel.
Right.
I agree with those, but I'm going to keep a Drum and Citadel.
I think you maintain Drum, Citadel, and Ornithopter.
Yeah. Sacks a Drum, a Ravager to 2/2. He said, yeah, Ravager's the destroyed artifact, I assume. It's not the other way. I mean, if the Signal Pest is being shot, it's free to sack the Signal Pest. I guess you could move the counters to... So he's deciding, does he move the counters to Signal Pest or to Champion? It looks like it's going to be Champion. Yep, it moves all 3 onto this Champion. No damage this turn. But with Kristopher at 11, and now that the Champion's a 5/5, I don't even know if Kristopher sacks that fetch land. I'm pretty off it. But he's gonna. I guess there's creatures in the graveyard for Scavenging Ooze. Why not?
With the Champion at a 5/5, and with Pieter already knowing about the Bloodbraid Elves, you do kind of wish that Kristopher still had the Dark Confidant. That trade with the Memnite, I don't think was great.
It's not clear that it's not for sure that Pieter wins this race. Next turn, Kristopher plays land 5. It's a basic forest. Plays Bloodbraid Elf. Eats 1 creature with Scavenging Ooze. Goes. Pieter could lose.
Yes.
Lightning Bolt the draw. Yeah, this is still close. I want to cast a Bloodbraid Elf from Kristopher's spot. If you hit a Kolaghan's Command, you actually just destroy, you know, there's so many good cascades here.
Yeah,
now, ooh, he did not leave up green, though.
Ooh, he left up Lightning Bolt, which is fine.
Yeah, Cascade and Scavenging Ooze. I mean, you want to leave, you wish he'd left up a green red land. So it's going to cost him 1 life point. Probably not terrible.
Yeah, leaving up both options clearly better than leaving up only 1.
This means that top decked Cranial Plating wins the game, though.
Save time by registering tonight over at side events.
I count 4 artifacts, and the plating's the 5th. Yeah.
I don't think he drew it.
No.
It's my read.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and the Pieter's still losing the race, so he swings 5. Then he gets hit back for a bunch, and he sees that Scavenging Ooze, both these oozes, and he's like, you know, I don't think. So because it's a 3-turn clock for Pieter, he's still not winning the race. He's going to start, though. Swings 5, Chris down to 5.
If his draw was just a dud, you could try to hang back, but you already know there's another Bloodbraid Elf. Is that even a winning line?
Yeah, it was a dud. It was Springleaf Drum. And now we see Lightning Bolt from Kristopher. He's going to bolt away the Ornithopter. And that's fine.
Makes it so you can connect with the large Scavenging Ooze if you suit that up.
Yeah. Right now the swing is for 7 from Kristopher. A Bloodbraid Elf makes it 10. If his Bloodbraid cascades into Lightning Bolt, it's lethal.
Yeah, so the thing now with 4 green mana, if there's even 4 creatures in graveyard, you're still dead to Galvanic Blast plus attack with that champion.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to try to maneuver something a little bit better than that. Gain 1 life so that the champion itself isn't lethal.
He needs to leave up a green mana, but if he leaves up a green, and this Bloodbraid cascades into something that deals 3, he does actually win.
Cascading into Liliana of the Veil would be game over.
He's going to cast Rabble Master, but that leaves up 2 green.
Yep. Gets to gain some life.
Rabble Master makes a Goblin. They all attack. Here's 8. It's going to eat a card with Scavenging Ooze, make it 9. Eat a card with Scavenging Ooze, make it 10. He'll go to 7. So what are we looking at, Ryan? Arcbound Ravager would win. Cranial Plating would win. Galvanic Blast would win. I think that's it.
It's a pretty short list.
They exist. Those are their cards.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think it gets longer.
Yep, those are the plays. Kristopher up to 7. Pieter takes a big hit. And 4. Does he hit? Does he do it? Here's his draw.
Actually, plating doesn't do it because he doesn't have the Ornithopter anymore, and he couldn't equip it.
Oh no! You're right. Ornithopter's dead. We could equip it, but you'd have to tap
Right,
that
yeah, I'll tap this to equip.
So it's Ravager or Blast?
Yeah.
He's thinking a long time for it to be one of those cards.
Agree.
Are being posted at the Gathering Point flag.
What did he hit? I don't think he hit it. Looks like Kristopher Connett going to move to 8-0.
Pieter's going to make sure he's not leaving anything behind, but I don't think he can win this game.
Swings for 5. Connett says, I'll go to 2. So just kidding, I had Galvanic Blast, he passes. And Connett drew Lightning Bolt. Go attacks, and Pieter extends the hand. So Kristopher Connett stays undefeated. It is 8 wins now. At 8-0, he is 1 away from being undefeated on the day.